Hey, hi, it's Colin here. I've been meaning to do this project for a while, and I've had a reminder this morning that the entry deadline closes on the 18th of March. That's Friday week. So if we're going to put something in, we've got to get cracking. So let's get cracking. Um, let's head over to the Astro Pi website, and I'll put a link for that in the instructions. So I'm searching for Astro Pi, and we're going to go to Mission 0. And it's available for anybody aged 19 and under. There's some step-by-step guidelines here. And basically, let's just show you what is the Astro Pi. So there's a YouTube video here. It's only less than a minute long. Inside the space station on the floor, or is it the side, or is it the ceiling? Who knows? There are two of these Astro Pis, and they're the latest versions that have gone up there, so they're really fast now, and they've got some decent cameras on them as well. And your code will run on the Astro Pi in the space station, and you get a certificate back and a map back of where it was when your code ran. It's only a 30-second piece of code. It's a very simple bit of code to write, and I'll give you as much help as I can in this video. This is exciting. Okay, so that's the instruction. That's the sales pitch. Go on to the second page on here. Okay, so I'm going to split my screen like I normally do. Just dragging down, Windows right, back to the instructions, Windows left, squash that over, and that's us ready to go. This is the Astro Pi. You can have a look at the simulator here. There's a camera on the underneath. There are power supply ports, an audio jack, a couple of buttons, a joystick, and it's a neat bit of kit. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a little program that runs on the LEDs on the top. So let's get going. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to make sure this emulator is working. So we're just going to set a little simple message on there. sense.show _ message. Okay, in the window. sense.show _ message. Colin. Run that. And on the emulator, you can see that it comes up with my name, and that's a good start. We can control the scroll speed by adding an attribute to the end of that. And if I put a comma in there and do scroll _ speed, whoops, speed equals, what are they recommending? So the default speed is 0.1. So let's go for 0.5. So let's make that go a little bit faster. Press run. And that does indeed come faster. If I put another 0 in there, that should be really fast. You can't read it. There we go. So that's how you can play with the speed there. One of the things there, one of the things they want to try and do is they want to name the Astro Pis that are up in the space station, and they're asking us to vote on a number of names that they've given us, or indeed put your own name in there. So I'm going to copy this line of code down here. It has to start the same as theirs. It's got to be the first line of bit of code in the program. And so if you wanted to pick Ada Lovelace, who was a very famous lady in computing, you can leave it as that. But I'm going to just be cheeky, and I'm going to do my name should be Colin. And I'm going to run that, and then it comes up. It's taking a bit of time, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that scroll speed line up there and change that to be 0.01, because to get my program to run the space station, it has to run within 30 seconds, and those two lines of code at the moment have taken 17 seconds. I've only got 13 left for my program. Not long at all, so I've trimmed down the time for that message there. This is optional to get a quick program going to the space station, but I should do it anyway. We can create a variable called red. I'm going to use yellow because I find the red's a bit difficult to see on here. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to create a variable called yellow. And using the RGB colors, that's, whoops, not square brackets, rounded brackets. Yellow is lots of red, lots of blue, green, and no blue. And then in here, if I type in here text underscore color, and in this instance, you can spell it the English way. Yay. And that text color equals yellow. And if I run that now, you can see that my name's come up on the screen. Okay, and that's taken 5 seconds, so I've got plenty of time left. You can obviously make your own messages. You can introduce a second color. So let's introduce green. And so green is going to be red, green, blue. So it's going to be no red, lots of green, or as much green as we're allowed, and no blue. And I can change the background color. Underscore color equals green. Let's run that. Oh god, that's sick. Okay, let's change this. All right, I'm going to leave green there. I'm going to reintroduce red because I've got to be able to read it, haven't you? So red is 255.0.10, and change that background color to red, and then run that. Okay, hopefully you can see the gist of that, and if you want to tinker with your own colors, on the screen here there is a color picker that you can go and get your own values. Right then, displaying an image. I'm not going to do this because I'm not quite sure what this image is. So what I'm going to do is later on in the program they introduce another image of a fish, so I'm just going to go and get that bit of code. Right, so there's a picture of a fish there, which is the wet thing here. I'm going to copy both of these, save me doing it later on. So I'm just going to copy those and pop them there. And they've introduced some more colors there, so I'm just going to copy those colors there and put them up there with my other colors. And then I'm just going to go back to where we were. Yeah. So the numbers are going to be different. You can follow, if you want to use this, you can. I'll put a link to these instructions, but I wasn't sure what this image was, and I've tried it a couple of times now, and I'm still not sure what the image is. Might be my color blindness, but who knows. Anyway, so following roughly what they're doing, there's a picture in here. So the wet picture has is a matrix. It's a list of the numbers being used up here. So in a 8x8 matrix, you can draw a fish. You can create your own thing if you want to. But if I want to display the fish image, I need to put some code below its definition, and I'm going to do sense.set_pixels. Spell it properly, or else it won't work. and I'm just going to type wet in there, and when I run this now, ta-da, you should see after my name comes past, you see there's a picture of a fish there. So if you like doing a bit of artwork and you want to create your own image, make sure you define your colors first of all, give them single letters, and then you can then map out a grid of the image you want to display. Okay, we'll come back to these this fish image here and this other image here, which I'll let you see what it is when we get there. If you want to have a little pause in your program because you want a break, you can use the sleep command, but before you can use that, you need to import sleep. You need to add to go to the top and then copy and then type in from time import sleep. And then if you want to put a little sleep in here, so if you just say you wanted to pause at the end of my message there, you could do sleep 2. I'll give a 2-second pause. Bearing in mind we've only got 30 seconds, we're not probably going to use this very much, but it's within the instructions, so let's just run that. At the end of this session here, you get the red screen at the end, you pause 2 seconds, and then up pops the fish. Right. The Astro Pi has 3 sensors on it. It's got a temperature sensor, a air pressure sensor, and a humidity sensor. Obviously in the real machine there are sensors on board the machine, but we can use the simulator here to change the values. So we're going to read the onboard sensor for humidity. So I'll come down below my code and I'm going to create a variable called humid equals sense dot get underscore humidity, open close bracket. Now if I run that now, nothing happens because we haven't told it to do anything with humidity. So just to show you what happens, if I do print humid and then run that, fish, and then we get this massive decimal point after the humidity, because the actual value of the humidity sensor, or it's quite sensitive. We don't need that many decimal places, so we're going to round that off. Also notice that the slider up here isn't very accurate, but it was on around about 51. That's okay because this is just a simulator. But to round our humidity down to 1 degree, one level of precision, come to the end, comma 1. So that now rounds humidity down to 1 decimal place. Let's press run. Chop, chop, chop. So now you can see that my humidity has been rounded down to 1 decimal place. And look, I had 53 at the top here. I got 52. So this isn't very accurate, but it's a little thing to play with. If we want to then display that message on the screen, we can do another sense.show underscore message, and we need to turn that number into a string so it can be printed. So we type str humid, and maybe I might just borrow the sleep there. Actually, I'm going to change that to 1 second delay, and then under my fish I'm going to put that. So now if I run that now, and then it comes up with the message on the humidity. If you want to, we can do the text color and what have you in there, so that's entirely up to you. And if we wanted to add a bit of help text onto that message that comes up, then we come into our show message and we can go, the humidity is, come outside and the plus sign come to the end, and a plus sign, another couple of speech marks, a space and a percent, and then run that. Oh, bad input. Oh, I seem to have a mismatch on opening and closing brackets. So I need the two big outside ones. I think that bad boy there is not needed. Yep. The brackets always go in pairs. Okay, and our message is coming up now with that help text I wrapped around it. The last thing we're going to do here, but you don't need to do this because actually we've got enough. Our program runs within 30 seconds. We've got 3 green ticks here. So we've met all the requirements to do the project. But just as a little bit of fun, we're going to add a little... so if the humidity is red is greater than... What was it? If the humidity that's red is greater than 40, display the wet picture. If it's less than 40, we're going to draw the dry picture. So I'm just going to copy that code there. I've got the images already. So this is my fish picture. And this is another picture, which I'm going to try not to tell you what it is. Let's come down the bottom here. Put that in there. And so if humidity is greater than or equal to 40, display the wet picture. Well, we just had 20, what was it? 53 displayed. So let's just run that. And at the end of this lot, we should get the fish picture displayed again. You need to watch the time down here as well. If I need to cut some time, I could speed that message up. Okay, so that's good. So that's working and within time. Let's make the humidity drier and run that again. And what we should see is the image that's been drawn by the little bit of code on the screen at the moment. There we go, and hopefully you see that, and that's a cactus. Okay, so having done all that, my project still runs within the time I'm allowed. I should have had a tick at the end then. Just run it again because I wanted to get... It won't let you submit the program if you've got errors or it's outside time. Right, so I've got 3 ticks there, so I'm now ready to submit. Check the instructions in the description on what if this changes, but at the moment my understanding is here, if in this box down here you type in bright toothpaste, you'll get either Alex's name or somebody else from the library services name will appear. Click continue. You then enter a team name. I'm putting in Team Colin. You might need to put your borrower ID in so that the library service knows who to send the certificates on to, because they don't go directly to you, they go via the library service. So I'm going to put Colin in here. The project's limited to people that are 19 and under. I have to say I'm 14 just to show you what happens. You can put whatever gender you like in. I don't quite know why they need that question, so I'm going to say prefer not to say. Press submit. And that has now been submitted to... so your code now has been sent to a holding area, which will then be sent up to the Astro Pi, to the European Space Agency, and then hopefully within a month that will run and you'll get your certificate back. Right, well, I hope that made sense. It is a little bit urgent if you want to have a go at doing this to get something that comes back, and it is quite nice to get the certificate. I had one last year when I did mine when I was 13, and it's quite cool that you can to think that we can write some code, get it up to the space station, and you get a certificate back. Please check the instructions if the submission requirements change. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.